we're slowly approaching 100 days in this world, and my village still looks very spread out. So in the last episode, we went in search of a full set of diamond armor, as well as some extras for some tools and enchantments, just in preparation for this episode, where we are going to be transforming this entire village. And my plan to do this is through a few simple steps. 1, we're going to be adding a wall around the entire village. 2, we're going to add some fields throughout all of the empty spots where there's grass. And then finally, we're going to be upgrading that little waterfall to my left so that there's a little bit of a feature in the village. I'm hoping to have the waterfall go from the top all the way down to the bottom and having a little lake in this area. But that is a lot of steps that are easier said than done. So let's go ahead and get started with the first couple things. First of all, I had all of the diamond armor ready to go, but I didn't have enough time in the last episode to craft up our enchantment setup. So if we grab some wood in here, and we can head over here to the butcher shop into the cow crusher, and hopefully, yes, we have plenty of leather in there. And the final thing that we're going to need for some bookshelves is going to be this sugarcane, and I realized that I have not actually made a sugarcane in this world. So I think it's about time I fix that. Since I'm going to be filling up the entire village with wheat, I don't think we really need this area right now. So I'm just going to stomp this little area right next to the water so that we get our dirt back. Then we can take our sugarcane and add it along the edges. Just like that, and now we can do it to this one. And we don't have quite enough for this one, but eventually they'll all grow and we'll be able to expand. And I think I'm going to sit myself right up here on this house and watch these guys grow for a minute. Now that we have all of our sugarcane ready to go, we can take our leather and some wood and start crafting ourselves up some books for some bookshelves. And now that we have all of our bookshelves, we can go ahead and take it over here, where I was considering making an entire enchantment area, but I don't think we have enough time for that in this series. So for now, we're going to put it in this villager house, which should be just enough room if I clear out this furnace. It might look a little bit ugly, but we should have just the amount of space that we need to fill in a level 30 enchantment setup. And just like that, I crafted a few extra bookshelves just to make it a little bit more even. Nice looking. And now all we're missing is the enchantment table. So for that, I'm going to need my diamond pickaxe so that we can head over here where we used to have a little bit of a lava pool, and we can come in here and pick up some obsidian. And now all we need for the crafting recipe is a book and 2 of our diamonds. And just like that, we have an enchantment table that we can come over here into the villager house, place it down, and now we are free to check out what enchantments we can get. And unfortunately, I still am only at level 25, but hopefully we should be able to get a couple enchantments that will help us through the next couple of projects in this video. And I think, starting off with the diamond pickaxe, I'm just gonna go for that efficiency 2 and hope there's a couple more with it. That's okay, because either way, a diamond pickaxe with efficiency 2 is much faster than the iron pickaxes that I've been running off this the entire time. And now what I want to do is actually run back to the house and grab the diamond set of armor that I forgot right in here. And now I can take the diamond armor and hopefully get some good enchantments on it. And now we have full enchanted diamond armor. These aren't the best because, like I said, I only had about 25 levels, so I just did all the low level enchantments. But hopefully it will be enough to just help us survive a little bit easier for the rest of this world. I just got Protection 1 on the helmet, Protection 1 and Unbreaking on the chest plate, Protection 2 on the leggings, and Protection 1 on the boots. And of course, we still have our Efficiency 2 diamond pickaxe, so I think that concludes the enchanting section of this episode. If I go ahead and put these on really quick, probably not the best idea in the night, we can move on to our next section of this episode, building the walls. So for the walls, I think I'm going to use spruce logs for the main pillars, and then a mixture of stone materials for the in-between parts. And I've already gone ahead and smelted a lot of smooth stone that we can then turn into some stone bricks, so that we have a little bit more variation as well. But considering we're trying to create a wall all the way around the outside of our mountain, I think we're going to need a little bit more wood, and I actually need to get these trees out of the way to make the wall. So let's go ahead and collect a little bit more wood before we get started. Almost 4 stacks of wood later, and we have all of the trees that we need to be cleared out. So finally, let's start working on the design for the wall. And I'm thinking of making one very, very similar to the one over here that we did for our automatic wheat farm. So with that color palette in mind, let's go ahead and get started on building. I think I'm just going to take a cobblestone path just to mark out where I want the wall around the entire village. And I think I'm just going to connect the wall to the automatic villager farm and continue it on the other side. And then I'm only going to make my way up to this big area with the mountain because I have a very special plan for up there that you'll have to wait for next episode to see. But that plan includes not making the wall go all the way up there, which is very lucky because that saves us a little bit of time on this episode. So now that I have the path that I want the wall to follow, we can start going along and building all the pillars for the wall. And here we have all of the pillars finally put in, and the inside of all of the walls is also complete now. That one took a little bit longer than I expected it to. But now that all of those are done, it is time for us to focus on the waterfall. Now, if I remember correctly, there is quite a few villagers down here. Yep. So first of all, let's do a rescue mission. And here they come all the way up and out of the pond. And now that we got that out of the way, we can head up here. And I actually think I'm going to plug the original waterfall just for now and give myself a little bit more space so that we can make a pond up here so that the waterfall seems like it's actually coming from somewhere. And there is the start of our pond. Now we can make an infinite water source right here and start filling up the pond. And just to add some nice details, I'm going to outline the pond with some stone, just like this. And now we can take this part right here and create an area for the water to start falling down. Hopefully this kind of enclosed staircase will do that. And then we can let the water free, and there's our waterfall. And now we get to see if that staircase looks funky. And it doesn't look like it does, perfect. But one thing I do want to do is make it so that it's not just a too wide waterfall all the way down. I want to make it open up just a little bit more. So if we make our way up here, I believe I can at least make it go open on that side. So this one's just a little bit wider, and I think that should be okay. I can't seem to get it to widen anymore on this side, so we'll have to deal with that. And I think just for simplicity, so we don't have to sit here and fill in the water all weird, I'm just gonna fill in this area. And there we go, we've got about 2 layers of water that will be in this pond, and I think this is going to be a lot easier to fill in than what was there before. And of course next we should probably outline this in some stone to give it some detail, just like that. And I think we should be able to get away with leaving the bottom just as grass. And I actually just realized, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't actually know how to fill in like 2 high sources of water very easily, so just for simplicity, I think I'm gonna fill it in just 1 more high. There we go. And now all we need to do is make a infinite water source and start filling this up just like the one up top, only this one's gonna be way bigger. And there we go. And with the waterfall officially complete, we can fill in that water source, and that is technically all I wanted to do. Now what I'm worried about is this actually isn't going to be able to be seen very well, but at least it pulls together the village just a little bit more in the places that you can see it. And last but not least, I need to make a bunch of iron hose just like that so that we can start filling in all of the blank spaces around the village with some wheat seeds. But before I start spending all that time doing that, I think I want to fill in some more areas with these spruce trees right here, mainly this big area. And I think I'm going to do it along the back, kind of highlighting the area that we have for the waterfall, and then also hiding a couple of the more basic villager houses with these, and hopefully that should be enough. Now I don't really have a lot of bone meal, so we'll have to wait to see what that will end up looking like, but we can at least come over here and see what this first section would look like. And even with all 20 of those bone meals, not all of those trees grew, but here's kind of what it's going to end up looking like. And the goal is just to fill in a little bit more space. But now that all of that is complete, I think it's time to start working on the fields. I spent the next couple of hours growing these fields, so I figured it would be easier to voice it over. I started by adding some water and tilling all of the ground. After that, I added some seeds to the field and kept expanding from that initial patch of wheat all the way until the entire field was full. After that, all I had to do was wait for the wheat to grow up so that I could take a thumbnail picture. So while I was waiting, I went around and did miscellaneous things like building new paths, adding some saplings, and adding some dimension to the walls. And after what seemed like forever, the fields were finally complete. Now that we're finally done, I figured it was time to give you guys a tour. So, starting off, we have the, of course, beautiful wheat fields. I think this did a really good job at filling in the area. Same with all of the trees. I think they added a good outline. So if we hop up here, we can get a nice bird's eye view. And as you can see, that wheat area filled in plenty of this over here, and I think it ended up looking really good to fill in the space. I also really like the detail of adding some trees throughout here just so it didn't feel like it was all wheat. Initially I planned on adding a bunch of wheat throughout the village, but I decided that it actually looked much better just having it off to the side. What tied it all together nice and pretty was this wall, which I ended up adding some slabs on top to add some dimension, and I think that ended up turning out really well. Unfortunately, the waterfall isn't as visible as I thought it was going to be in my mind. In my head, it was like this whole area, and it didn't end up being that, but it's okay. Because definitely from certain perspectives, you can see it and it looks pretty. So that is all I have for you guys today. If you did end up enjoying the video, please do leave a like, as it really does help out a lot. And if you're new here, consider subscribing, because I would love to see you guys in the next episode. Bye!